tell me you're going to play at Music Fest one year.
So I'm gonna submit us this year. I didn't do it the past couple years because we didn't really have a release until like it was too late basically for when we released our first singles as a band. So when we started the band off, actually we started this sort of like 5 years ago. We started playing surf together, and we kind of recorded like an EP, but we never finished it or released it. We didn't finish mixing it and stuff like that. And then COVID came around and we started playing like some sort of like psych garage rock stuff, and then we started messing around with different things of that nature. And then we kind of both decided like, let's finish up that surf stuff. And Egan was like, I kind of want to do like a traditional surf album, and I kind of had like a slightly different idea. I was like, well, how about we just like, why don't we just record like 2 surf albums, and then we'll do like a double release, and we'll just put the name, you know, the band name under, you know, Sunbus was our band name that we came up with, and let's just use those songs and just see who we can get to play. So we got our friends to play, and now we have like a permanent like lineup. You know, it took us a minute. We went through some different lineups in the beginning, and then we got pretty much solid lineup, and then the original bass player, she wasn't really like available to do like a full-time thing, so she left, and we got this other girl, Grace, who just joined. So we just recorded an EP, like a new EP, and Grace is on that. So
oh, excellent. When will that be coming out?
So I don't know yet. We just got the mixes finished like literally yesterday. So
nice.
And actually we recorded at the same spot that we started recording when we first started doing the surf thing. So yeah, so I'm thinking it's going to be out. We're hoping for like May or June or something.
Okay. So there's in the video description on YouTube, there'll be a link in there to go to your Bandcamp site where they can check it out. As of right this second, you have 3 releases with 2 songs each,
Yes.
which I picked up and checked out, and I am a huge fan of the Lehigh Valley music. Growing up in the Allentown area, I'm from really closer to Jim Thorpe. I'm from Palmerton.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, and I used to go to shows at the Airport Music Hall every weekend.
Word.
When I was, you know, young in the 80s and 90s. And then I moved to Philadelphia, and I met, you know, Wally and Bobby Cork and Grieving Eucalyptus and all those guys from Westchester too.
Nice.
And it was just, I knocked my mic over. It was just, I have a really affinity for Lehigh Valley music. And it's got its own distinct sound. And when I listened to you guys, you had that sound.
Nice. Yeah. It's kind of like a mix between like, I mean, there's always been a lot of like garage rock in Lehigh Valley and like kind of psych rock kind of bands. But then there's also, I mean, there's been all kinds of stuff like jam bands. Like we played like with bands and all kinds of stuff like that. And you know, but the stuff that we kind of like is, you know, more gravitated towards like what we're doing with, you know, Sunbus. We're trying to, you know, it's like a mix between psychedelic and surf, you know.
Totally.
That's kind of what we're into. And then we're actually working on some new stuff that'll actually be like a little mix between like instrumental and vocal actually. So that'd be kind of fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got a lot of new stuff that we all demo. Like me and Egan always will demo stuff out, and we basically write this stuff. So when did we put that album out? That was 2000.
The surf record?
Yeah, 21,
2022.
3. What was that?
I don't know.
I don't know. We put these
I
albums.
started writing. I have like my own project. We have our own projects, and mine's Cosmic Mud. And my idea, because you know, I've always loved surf and stuff like that. I was just like, I just want to make a surf record, and there's not much surf around here. You know, like you know, landlocked state, it's not really like the vibe, but it's cool when you have that sound and people kind of gravitate towards it. You know, because it's just not around. It's just not something you hear every year. You know, but
yeah.
guess we put those out in like 2023 or something.
Yeah.
You know. So,
yeah, I saw the Bandcamp says there was 3 out in 2024. Is that not correct?
So that was Sunbus, right? So the original songs, actually, if you look this up, we both have our own albums out, and there's some of those songs are on there, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So his is under Cosmic Mud. It's called Nowhere Man, and then mine is just Amphibian. That's like my fake name that it never really happened. So it's just like what I release my own solo stuff under. And
okay.
Yeah. So that album's called Sunrise, and that's a little. So it's basically like the combination of our songs, and then we were kind of like, we need to have something under the band name release, because our idea was to like play this stuff, get some shows, and then like write stuff as a band. We just wanted like a launch point. And then we kind of realized we're like, no, we really need to have something like under the band name to kind of like book shows, you know? So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we did that. And essentially after, we got that, we started getting some shows and stuff. And then, then we had like a change of a bass player, and, and now we're kind of on to like, we want to write new stuff. We still obviously will perform all this stuff that we have. So
yeah,
it's
cool.
It's just fun, mix it up with some of the new stuff.
And what particular guitar do you have right there?
Oh, this is a Jaguar.
Do you have is it like a?
I built it.
Oh, you built it?
Yeah, it's a parts. So there's a guy I found oddly during COVID. So Egan bought a Jazzmaster, right? And it was before we were doing the surf thing, And like I've been into surf for a very long time. Like I used to. Always want to start a surf band. He's the only other guy that I kind of met that was like, yeah, let's do a surf band. So he got a Jazzmaster, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta get a Jazzmaster. I have a Jazzmaster. I don't have it on me right now. We're actually at Egan's place, but anyhow, I built one. And I found this guy down in I think he's in Missouri or something. It's called Bloom Doom. He does like these nitro finished bodies and stuff. And anyhow. It just looked cool, so I was like, I'm gonna get that, and I built a Jazzmaster. So then I got that. Then he got a Jaguar, and I was like, oh man, I gotta have a Jaguar. So and so I built the Jaguar, and this thing turned out really cool. It's got this neat neck on it. It's got this like
Coney Islander.
Yeah, and the fretboard is actually the Coney Island boardwalk. It's like surplus wood from the Coney Island.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah. I was like, I gotta do that. There's a company in Jersey called Musicraft. You can just order these parts. It's pretty fun. And then there's a guy that I found down in Georgia that winds these pickups, and they sound amazing. They're called Sunday Hand Wound Pickups. He did Jaguar pickups and Jazzmaster pickups, and the Jazzmaster pickups blew anything away that I tried. Like, these sound so freaking good. It just sounds so legit to me. So I was just like, all right, I gotta, because I played a bunch of the vintage ones. I've tried them before, And it's always like, they're so expensive, so they're unaffordable, but they're like, oh man, they sound so good, So
how do you like the neck on that? Is it a traditional Jazzmaster neck or Jag?
Yeah, it's the short scale neck, 24. What I did actually, my Jazzmaster neck I just really like. So I tried to find a spec that was about the same measurements at the first fret, and I like it a lot. I used to have a made in Japan Jaguar. It was like an earlier 90s or something like that. What is yours? He has a made in Japan.
This is a late 90s Japanese Jaguar.
Yeah, his Jaguar is really awesome. It sounds really good. But I had
Japanese Jags are no joke. They're no joke.
Yeah, this is a yeah. So there's made in Japan, and this is a crafted in Japan.
Oh, really?
They're a little different depending on the ones, because I have a few Japanese guitars. I have like, because I'm left-handed, so the only thing you can really find in left-hand is like the Fender Japan guitars. But I have a Japanese Mustang, which is really awesome, and then I have a Japanese fretless bass, Fender Jazz bass.
Can I see the Mustang? I love Mustangs.
Yeah, for sure.
I used to play around with 1969 Fender Mustang bass. It was short and orange with red racing stripes.
That's awesome. So Adriana, our first bass player, she played a Mustang bass.
Yeah, they're wild, man. They look great.
This is a candy apple red Mustang.
My God.
I put the racing stripe on because I love competition Mustangs. You know, they're really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a ripper guitar. I love it. I don't really use it much in Sunbus. I kind of use it more for my other projects, but it's one of my favorite guitars to play. They're so easy to play. That's why I like them. You know, it feels like a toy. You know,
awesome. Cool. Do they still have that Dave Phillips up there?
Oh, that's gone. So there was a bridge in Allentown that was right by that place, and I don't know what happened to it. Basically, they closed the bridge for renovation, and then the guy who owned it was just like, close it down. And then they had one in Phillipsburg in New Jersey, and somebody bought that, and then it didn't really go well because it was kind of like an insanely huge building for like a music store nowadays. You know, it's not.
Yeah, the one in Lehigh Valley was too.
Yeah. I don't think those things were doing that well because there was and then like a Guitar Center moved in, and they kind of just screwed it for a little bit. But yeah,
when they had the smaller building, it was much cooler, I thought.
Yeah. I always like small, like old school kind of music shops. They're kind of fun.
Yeah. We have one down the street called George's Music, and I went in there and I found pretty much the best Strat I've ever played in my life. And,
yeah.
You know, I saved up for a year to get that damn thing, and it was Jesus. It was maple body, maple neck, and stayed. It was with a black pickle. Oh, it was great.
That's like my Strat that I have. I brought this just because it's kind of neat. This is like my first.
That's it.
This is 73 Strat, right? But check this out.
Mine had a maple neck though too, not rosewood.
This is maple.
Oh, it is. Okay, great.
But so a long time ago, you know Sellersville Music, you know the theater, Sellersville Theater.
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw Dick Dale play there, and I got to hang out with him for a little bit because I started talking to him about like JBL speakers and stuff. Because at the time I had like a JBL D130F in a cab that I was hooking up to like a Bandmaster head. I don't know what I had at the time, but I had like one of those spring tanks. And I was asking him about his stuff, and he was like, you got to hang out. You got to tell him, you know, we got to talk gear. And I was like, so I met him and I got his autograph, and I didn't know what to do with it, so like I just like lacquered it to the back of the guitar. And I have Les Paul's autograph on a Strat too, which is terrible, but you know, yeah, but I have Dick Dale's autograph on his guitar. He was super nice guy to me, actually. We talked gear, and he kept telling all the little kids to not drink soda because it'll rot their gut. I thought that was so funny. Why do you keep saying that? He was like, well, you know, I did this like I don't know if he did like a Pepsi or Coke commercial. He goes like, I did it, you know, because they, you know, it paid well, but I figured like to counteract that, I would just tell people don't drink it. That's so funny. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He was the man. His kid Jimmy is really talented. Have you heard him?
I actually saw a couple clips from him from like one of those Asbury fests or whatever, and I never did it live though. This guy strings his guitar like Dick Dale. It's upside down.
Oh really?
Yeah, and that it has nothing to do with like the surf thing. I just kind of started playing like that because I'm left-handed and stupid, and when I learned, I didn't flip the strings because there was righty basses and righty guitars around the house. I flipped them over and just started learning, and that was it.
I hear that's a story with a lot of lefties. Is they just kind of pick the one up that's around and they just flip it, you know.
Yeah, I mean the chances of you going into a store and like finding a decent lefty guitar is pretty slim, you know. And it's like, I started out on I started out on righty instruments, and then, you know, you get tired of turning yourself down with the controls because they're up here, and you know, it's uncomfortable. So you're kind of getting into like lefty guitars and stuff like that, and you know, this thing was very hard to find. I got this on Reverb, and lefty Jaguars. I mean, like you have like the Kurt Cobain models and stuff like that, but like I wanted like a real Jaguar, and you know, I found this thing, and it was kind of like, it was a little rough. I had to fix it up a little bit, you know, but this is my favorite guitar of all time. It's like attached to me at the hip at all times, you know. I just love this thing.
He also got the Spitfire, one of those Spitfire torque guards.
Oh yeah, it's like a torque
It looks so
guard,
cool.
you know.
Yeah, it looks so cool.
Oh, nice. There's this band from New York called Bad Tide, and
I don't think I've heard.
they're kind of like a surfy band with vocals.
Yeah.
And they make their Jag style and Jazzmaster styles out of old skateboards.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen those before. I forget who makes
They're
them.
good.
They make them themselves, or is it like they get them from somewhere? Like
No, he told me he made them. I said, "Could you do like a video for me?" They're like,
that's badass.
That's pretty sweet,
super cool. Yeah.
it really is. And they really like they were like a band that started during COVID, and they really like honed in on what they wanted to do, and they have some really great songs on their on the YouTube channel. Yeah,
It's awesome. I gotta check them out. There's so many like surf that popped around like in the past few years. Like there's this band. I don't really know if they're like a surf band, but I found out this band called McCharmleys. The McCharmleys. Have you ever heard of this band?
Oh yeah, they just put an album out.
They put like a single out or something. Yeah.
Yeah. On High Tide.
Yeah, I love all that stuff. And like Surfer Jets, we actually saw them play last year. They were really good live. They sounded really good live. You know.
It was funny.
Yeah, totally. They're really impressive the way they play.
Yeah. And I like we listen. What were we saying?
They had a fill-in drummer too.
Oh yeah, Reverend
still, like killing it.
Reverend Horton Heat's drummer was filling in. He was filling in for the run because I guess
it was just that show.
Oh really? No
just
way.
that show. Yeah,
That's wild. Yeah,
it was crazy.
Really? I've seen them with two different drummers, and not that guy. It was two women.
Yeah. I think the current drummer is what's her name? I don't know. The very famous drummer. I don't know. I just saw her Instagram tag. She's really good. She does like almost like Latin stuff. I see her like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat band. They sound really good live.
Yeah, they know their like music history and stuff, and like they're good at picking out.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah. So our drummer actually used to play in another surf band. They were called the Great Whitecaps. Do you remember them? Great Whitecaps. They were.
No.
So he was actually a guitar player in that band, but I've known him forever as he's a drummer. Like this guy plays like everything. This guy plays drums, bass, everything. But Jesse was the guitar player in the Great Whitecaps. They're kind of more like surf punk, right? It was almost like
surf punk band.
Like surf punk, like what are those guys called? The guys you like?
Agent Orange.
Orange.
Kind of like not really
Agent Orange, Dead Kennedys.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Like a little bit more like not as punk, more like they're kind of like garagey punk.
Yeah, like garagey. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't necessarily like that, like reverby tone. It was more like that fuzz surf tone.
Oh, okay.
That buzzy fuzz kind of surf tone. They were cool though. It was definitely they were like really good with like the whole like the the shtick with the different like moves like chord.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, there's a really good band. They're more of like an Exotica, Slowy in the Boats.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
I love them because I play lap steel too. I don't play in this band, but that guy's great. That guy's a really good steel player. And I found out this other guy, Joe Patterson. You ever listen to that guy? He's not really like
I've heard of him, but
yeah, I think he's from Chicago or something. He's not really like a surf guitarist, but he's got like that old timey tone. Like it's fun. Like the surf music to me, like I got really into it because believe it or not, Richie Allen and the Pacific Surfers. I used to work at a compact disc center in Bethlehem, and when I worked there, I just would find CDs and I'd be like, "What is this? I want to listen to this." And I got really into that album. Like the whatever that.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Like Surfer Slide and all that stuff. So I got into that, and then I found like Speedy West, that not surf music at all, but like that type of guitar sound is like very
ripping all the time.
Yeah, and like Jimmy Bryant, all those kind of guys. And it's not really surf music, but then Dick Dale, I got into Dick Dale, and basically everybody. You like the lively ones a lot, like all those classics, the astronauts, all that stuff. I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's kind of like.
What's really cool nowadays, like a ton of bands like in the 90s, in the early 2000s were influenced by surf bands.
Totally. Yeah.
And then it kind of flipped. It's like all these old funker and metalheads and garage and country bands are all like doing their version of surf. There's like even like this guy, I very nice guy from Wales, and he does black metal tunes, but he does surf versions of them, and they're like, they're not like distorted at all. It's like true like surfy tone.
Yeah. No, that's what I see. That's what I like about surf. I like that reverby delay, like even like the shadows, like the delay kind of surf tone. The Atlantics kind of have a little bit of that delay tone.
Yeah.
Like I like that stuff and the drip. I like all those sounds. Like to me, that's what makes surf music.
Yep.
In a way, it's not necessarily. I know there's like the traditional like the traditional surf beat and like the all the tic-tacky sounds and stuff. Like I'm like really into like sounds and like Beach Boys and stuff like that as well. So like that is, or even like all like Stereolab. Stereolab's got a little bit of a surfy type of sound every once in a while. But like all that kind of stuff like is kind of like what influences me for it. But that it's got to have that surf sound. Like I like some of these bands. What's that band called? They're like it's like they're from like down south. They're like crazy. Like they like their freaking van on fire. Where's that band? What's that band called?
Not Daikaiju.
Yeah, Daikaiju. Yeah. That's like almost like a metal prog band, but it's like surf.
They're amazing.
Yeah, I didn't realize they're from down south. I thought they were like a Japanese surf band.
Yeah. They put on like an amazing show.
Yeah. Like I found out about Takeshi Teruchi. Whatever. Do you know that guy? You ever listen to that guy? Yeah. Yep. I love that. Like, and he doesn't have a surf sound really, but like it sounds like it's got that vibe. So I got into like Japanese surf and I was looking for bands, and for some reason like Kaiju popped up. I'm like, wow, this crazy like Japanese surf band. They're like prog, and it turns out they're from down south, and they played in York. Like I was playing at the place with like this other trio that I play with. We were playing at this place called Grand Falloons or something in York, and this dude Al that I play with, and anyhow, some guy. We played a couple surf songs, right? We played I think we played Surfer Slide and like what do you call it? Pipeline or something like that. We did like a trippy version of Pipeline, and this guy comes up, he goes like, oh man, you guys are playing surf, you missed Daikaiju played here the other night and they lit their van on fire out in the parking lot. I was like what the hell? But that was like part of their show. It's like that nuts kind of,
Last year I believe they played at the Surf Guitar 101 festival in LA, and they played at the Golden Palace Hotel.
Yeah.
And which is like a really nice place.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Jeff, the big Tiki dude, and I'm like, you know about the fire? He's like, yeah, I know about the fire. I said, they're gonna set something on fire, and he's like, well, and sure enough, they did.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I saw a bunch of things for that. You like the what do you call it? Didn't the Tiki-Aki Orchestra?
Oh, I love the Tiki-Aki Orchestra.
Yeah, he likes.
Oh my God, yeah.
I have a few.
I had them on the show.
They're
no way.
So good.
Yeah, they're so.
Yeah, they're great.
A long time ago, I found them like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I love. I love Exotica. Like I think I have like 3 pressings right now of like Les Baxter's.
Yeah,
Ritual of the Sap. That record.
I had Tropica right up on the wall over there.
That's sick.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
good.
Like I have a bunch of like old Martin Denny records. And,
Martin Denny. I used to have a Martin Denny record. Yeah.
What's the other? Who's the other one? Arthur Lyman. All of his stuff's really good too.
Oh yeah.
Funny, like back then, there's like this weird, like I don't know why I related all in my head like the same thing, like the Baja Marimba band there's like, and like Exotica and surf, it's like weird that there's like this weird like intersection between that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like even like West, like the country stuff. Like the weird thing is, like I always think we're talking about like Don Rich from like Buck Owens' band.
Oh yeah.
Like originally it wasn't Don Rich, it was actually Noki Edward was in that band. It's like all those
wow.
It's like that country thing meets like surf meets like that Exotica
And it's
thing.
funny because they look like the exact same guy.
Yeah, they do. Oh yeah, yeah. Don
I can't
Rich,
tell them apart.
Yeah, they almost have
Same guy.
Do you know Rancho Del Rey?
No, I don't.
I know that name. What is that?
Yeah, they're. I actually went out in 2022 to the SG 101, and I went to see this band Jetpack at it was like at the Barclay a couple nights before the actual like weekender, and Jetpack played. And then they went back and changed into like, Western outfits. And then they did a set as their alter egos, Rancho Del Rey. And it was all like country surf songs. It was pretty great.
They're awesome.
Great.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's interesting what you could do with that kind of music. That's what I always find really interesting. And we were talking about like when we first like we were getting together and just like playing old surf tunes at first before we started like writing stuff. We started, I guess we were like, I guess we were kind of writing stuff then, right? When did we start that? It was kind of like in the summer, like end of summer. So we were totally jamming on it before. Like probably, I don't know, we just got back into the surf thing and then like, anyhow, we were jamming on old tunes and then we were talking about like all this stuff like where like, there was something very imaginative about the music, like where it kind of like, it's almost like an atmosphere. It's not necessarily like to be like, I mean, like, yeah, there's like virtuoso players, in surf music now, what's his name, Dave Vronsky. You ever that guy from Slacktone? It was that guy playing. Oh my god, ridiculous! He's amazing, and the stuff that he comes up with, you're just like, what the, like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
just crazy arrangements. Like, he's amazing at arrangements of guitar, but we're talking about there's like these different kind of degrees of the guitar playing, but then there's this other like level of that music. Like it's like imaginative. It's almost like it's like an atmosphere or like a little story or something like that, where it's like kind of like bringing you into it, and like it's kind of taking you somewhere where like, oh yeah, I want to hang out here all day, Like I always felt like that when I heard that Richie Allen record. It's like there's some super like corny stuff on there, but there's also like some stuff on there that's just like, wow, this is like, the melodies are so good and the textures and the arrangements are so good.
Yeah.
And it takes me like into this like kind of like happy kind of place where it's kind of like, I want to like hang out.
Yeah. There's a really cool video of him at the Surfer Joe Festival.
Wait, Richie Allen?
What's that?
Richie Allen?
No, Ronsky, Dave Ronsky.
Oh, yeah.
And he's doing like a seminar or something, and he's like showing all these typical these old tricks that he learned how to do, to like kind of incorporate them in his like surf guitar. Yeah. And then he was kind of like going through the history of how it evolved, like the style. Yeah. And it's really amazing. It's on YouTube. It's just on like, iPhone video, but it's great.
He's so good. He does this weird thing where he grabs octaves in certain parts for certain parts of lines, so it sounds like a 12 string. He does like a 12 string.
Yes, that's what he was showing. Yes.
Good idea. And because I follow his like YouTube channel, and I asked him a couple times. I was like, I'll just like ask questions on there. He actually usually answers back. He seems like a super cool guy. But So I was like, whoa, what do you have like your guitar strung? Like, do you have a couple strings like, set up like a 12 string? And he goes like, no, I just grab octaves here and there and to simulate it. Obviously in certain areas, because it's very convincing. It's like the right range and stuff. I was like, man, so clever. Because like, there's like stuff like, I'm like, that's like something I want to work on actually. I have a 12 string. We do one song that we actually recorded that used a 12 string on, but I should learn that trick.
Nice. Thanks. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on, especially because you're right up the street.
Yeah.
And I was just talking. I don't know how well like the old guys like me from like the punk rock days or hardcore days, but Kermit from Wally and Kit, we used to call him. I just talked to him the other day, and then I'm like, oh my God, you know, I'm going to be talking to these guys from Bethlehem, and it just brought it all back for me.
The guy that like that we know is like, or like, do you know John Terlesky, like JT, brother JT? He's
Sounds
like
really good.
Like then there was what's that guy Mark? Well, I can't think of Mark's last name. He was in the Creatures, like all this. I don't know. They were like old bands from Bethlehem that were like they're like really good. Like brother JT, he still does stuff, but he makes like these really like comical kind of videos, like cartoony psychedelic videos. But I played a couple gigs with him actually. He was like really fun to play with. But he's like total crazy psych. You know, that's the only guys I really know from back then. And then me and Egan play in a band. Egan plays drums in this trio that it's like a gig around town kind of band. And bass player from that band was in the Crack Babies. Do you remember the Crack Babies?
Oh yeah, yes.
Bill Melcher. He's like our bass player for that band. But he's awesome. He's such a good bass player, cool dude. But he was in the Crack Babies.
Nice.
That's like the only thing I know from that scene. Like I missed out on that by some years ago.
See this?
Well, you can just grab something.
This record is the reason I kind of play surf and garage. This is the Mummies. And this is...
Yeah, I remember the Mummies.
I will play this record to death. Because this is like the most crappiest sounding, most amazing lo-fi garage.
It's so good.
Surf rock infused thing.
I'm begging you, never get rid of that record. Never get.
I don't think it plays much anymore, but it's amazing.
Yeah. You have that Surfin, the Challenges album. He's been finding all this crazy vinyl, like surf vinyl. Like, we found freaking like this on vinyl. Like this, I love
this is a cool one. King of the Surf guitar. Just
where did you find those?
It's a secret. No. It's there's a flea market or like a little record shop down 100 called Fenstees, and I've just been finding a bunch of crazy stuff in there, and it's terrible. I just spend all my money on these old surf records, but it's great.
There was a really great shop on that main street in Bethlehem. Can't even remember what it was called.
Was it Play It Again?
That's it. That's it.
It's not there anymore.
It's a pizza place.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Aww.
Yeah, I know. The guy, I don't know, it just wasn't, I don't think it was doing so well, like, overall. The Compact Disc Center is still there, and they sell vinyl now, which is dope. That's on Linden Street. That place is awesome. But,
there's this guy named Chicken who had a zine, and he used to, like, you'd be able to go get it at Play It Again.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember I went there, like, I don't know, I might have been like in 9th grade or something like that, and I got like the first CD I bought there was a freaking Gene Vincent CD. Isn't that weird? Like, Gene, whatever the bebop.
I found a Supergrass record there, which I was like, wow.
Yeah. Supergrass was a big one when I was young. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite bands. It's not surf at all, but it's just one of my favorite bands.
Totally. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much. And one thing I wanted to say, like the minute that you guys came up, we were recording. I won't use like a little bit off the front. I'll cut out. I'll put some nice graphics on it and then send it to you when it goes live.
Yeah.
But I started a Patreon page, and up here I have like one of those. I just have like an iPhone tripod.
Yeah.
And the whole, I don't know if it's still going. Let me check.
He's got Surfin right there.
Yeah, it's still running. It's like the over the shoulder. Shooting this video. So this you and I, you guys and I, in this graphic like you saw in the other interviews, will be on YouTube. But this over the shoulder version of it will go on the Patreon page.
Oh, great.
And,
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Hey, so you play guitar. I see you got a Surfy Bear unit back there.
Actually, we have a series called the Surfy Bear North American Tour 2023.
Yeah.
And what I did was I managed to get directly from Ted.
Yeah, Ted.
Ted Pilgrim.
Yeah.
That surfing barrel.
Yeah.
And he mailed it. I got it to mail it to Jason.
Okay.
The surf.
Yeah, that's right. That's the U.S. guy, right?
No, he's in Canada.
Oh, Canadian guy. Yeah, I always forgot. I talked to those guys before, because I have actually what you're hearing right now is.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's the, because that drip that I got that a while ago, and I just upped the pan in it, and I was talking because they gave me the update. They had that surfy pan.
Yeah, they were really cool about that.
Yeah, I have the one in my. It's the greatest thing since the.
Yeah.
It sounds legit because it's got the shortened tail.
Yeah.
You can still get all that drip.
Yeah.
Oh no. So this one, let me tell you the story of this one. So you can't see it, but it's got signatures of 10 bands on it.
Oh, badass.
So what we did was, I worked out a deal, and I compensated 10. And what we did was we sent this to 10 bands across Canada, and then down to New York, out to California, Florida, and then back up to me. And they all made videos and tried it out. They did like a video demo, and then some of them even wrote a song and made a video for it.
Awesome.
And all that stuff's on our channel. And then, I did a video at the end, kind of wrapping it all up. And there it sits, Jim and the Sea Dragons, the Green Reflectors, Surf Hermits, Jim Colby, Underwater Bosses.
Killer.
Yeah, Blow Floaters.
Yeah, that's killer, man.
Oh, Lewis Bailey. Yeah.
They're cool units. I saw they just came out with a pedal that emulates like a dual showman or something, like the preamp.
Yes, Surfer Joe does these really cool teaser videos, and then Nan just happened.
Yeah. I was looking. I'm like, someone's got to make a video of that thing. I want to hear what that. No one had. I always follow that guy, that 60 cycle hum dude. That was his name.
Yeah.
I think his name is also Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
Yeah, Ryan.